Mike Allen,
What's
fill
up?
me in. What was going on after college?
Well, after college, I sent it up to Sitka, Alaska, and I was a deckhand on a fishing charter boat, and I was making, 15, $20,000 chasing my dream. So
And then fast forward to like 2024. What does that look like now?
I own now one of the top lodges in Sitka, Alaska. Live and do something I love.
Mike, we know each other since like middle school. And then we went to freshman year of high school together. I want to ask you, do you think any of our teachers would have said that you would be one of the most successful business people based on, how we acted in high school?
I mean, no, I think it like makes sense now, just because I didn't like listen. I wasn't the greatest student. Neither were you.
Very true.
But I was so self driven. Like I just wanted to do my own thing all the time. Like I didn't care about the hyperboles of the thing. I mean, I got good grades. Like I got exactly what I needed to do what I needed and get into college. And I did well in college. College, I really like my brain kind of switched. I was doing classes that I enjoyed. I enjoy business classes, but in high school, like the curriculum and stuff was like honestly a waste of time. I did it, but I was ADD. I was like, I didn't fit the niche in Lake Oswego. I was like kind of a like cowboy fishing or like doing something, jumping off bridges in the water.
You always loved the outdoors from like since I
Oh,
remember.
dude, obsessed. I literally like quit baseball to go fishing. Skiing and fishing were both my passions. It was, and I mean, I want to ski every freaking day. Like that's my goal in doing this.
I want to kind of hear where you're at right now because I know you got Omega Mics, different kind of businesses within what you do. So you want to break down exactly like what each of your businesses are, the Lodge, Omega Mics, Bonnie's, I think you said.
Mm-hmm. Main focus right now for the last 2 years has been purchasing Bonnie's charters, which I have on here in the small writing. It gets complicated doing business with somebody else's name, so we're kind of transitioning into Cast Alaska. We can't cash any check or deposit any checks that say Bonnie's charters on it. So now
Mm.
we're trying to like explain to people like, hey, we're changing the name to Cast Alaska, but still like honoring Vonnie's charters because Vonnie's been like a huge part of my life, and I wouldn't be here today without Vonnie. Omega Mike's is during COVID. I had two other partners, and we started processing, catching like commercial catching. We can't sell any sport caught fish, but the fish that we catch commercially, which I don't do anymore. But then I'd take it to my friend's. He had a commercial processor, and we cut up fish, and then I'd buy fish from him, and then we have a freezer in Portland, and we ship out fish during COVID, and it was good. We made. I really wanted to do the value add like the burgers, and so I was traveling around during COVID, like going to stores, and we sold a bunch. It was just like shipping, logistics, and everything. Like you need a lot of funds, like a lot of money to get that whole thing rolling. Get some bad luck, and a lot of big shipments go bad, and it was more of a side hustle. It's still going on,
Mm.
but the charter and the whole luxury fishing lodge is where what I've always been doing. That's my main focus. That's what I love. I love to go fishing. I love to create memories for people. You get whole corporate events in our lodge. We do all the captains and deckhands do their own processing. We ship fish. We do all the logistics, like planning when they're coming in, picking up. There's just so many little aspects that are overlooked that the fishing lodge itself is it's a lot.
I want to come back to the Lodge, but I want to actually take a step back. And after college, you mentioned you were a deckhand, barely making any money, trying to figure out your passion with fishing and how to probably monetize it and make money doing it. What
Yeah.
happened after that? So you went from college to going straight to Alaska to start fishing?
So I worked for my dad um, through since I was 15. Like my mom would drive me to work, and I would go like load carpet pad into a baler, and I worked through him throughout college until he lost a contract for Home Depot. So I saw my dad grow a business from like one employee to like 80 employees. And then he
Mm.
lost the contract with Home Depot, and then he went back down to basically nothing. And it was like really hard to see. So I've done everything like growing up as far as like sales, construction, you know, warehouse managing, delivery driver, just a
Yeah.
bunch of stuff. And I when I was in college, my parents were getting divorced. I felt alone. Like it was a pretty hard time for me. I didn't know what to
Mm,
do. My dad's business was struggling, and I was helping him out as much as I could. And I just needed um, like a new, like a new beginning, almost like to
mm,
rebrand myself. So I
mm-hmm.
called up a lodge in Alaska, like my senior year, got the job on the spot, flew to Alaska the day after graduation, knew nobody. I had no friends or like I just I showed up. I was at eight by like five cubby, like in like a slanted vaulted ceiling with plywood on each side, and there's one bathroom and 12 fishermen staying in it. It was like disgusting, and I just like grinded. I was getting paid like $9 an hour, no overtime because of maritime law, and
Mm,
um, I think the thing that kept me and the lodge I worked for, they're a great company or whatnot, but the owner wasn't very nice to us, I guess, essentially. And I just knew you could create something better up there. I was like, dang, this is a really sick job. Like this could be really fun. Um, and my passion for fishing, which kept me able to fish every single day. I mean, we fish like 50, 60 days in a row, get a day off. And then on our days off, we have to go pull weeds at the lodge, like,
dang,
and still process. Like,
that's
there's not a
terrible.
day. It was horrible. It was absolutely horrible. And yeah, that really like I learned to bite my tongue. I learned like hard work. Like that really like worked for my dad and everything was great. Um, of learning. But when I went up there, it was like, holy cow! Like
Mm,
I can't even sleep in, and I've been on the boat from 4:30 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. and then I have to process every night. And then the day I have off, I have to go pull weeds and mow the lawn and scrub a rock out in the front or clean a car. Like it's just like it was crazy.
was there times that you wanted to quit?
I never. Hey, no. I never. I. I don't know. I think there was times I in the winter where like you come back home. It's like I try to relate like you get PTSD, you work so much and then you come home and then people are like, what are you going to do? And then you get like over like stimulated with all these people asking you all these questions. And there was
Mm,
times where like, yeah, I didn't want to come back. Like I didn't want to go back. And I ended up going back a second season. I'd come home and do different jobs every winter. I had a great job in construction for another company. And man, I just like once that season starts rolling around and like that spring hits the air, it's like I gotta go back. I went back, had a good second season, deckhanding, and during my exit interview, my boss told me that I smiled too much. Like,
really?
and we're in customer service, right? Like we're like with clients every day, so
Yeah.
I mean, I explained to her, I was like, you always seem like we walk in a room, there's like 12 people, and she just would point at me and be like, Mike Allen, what are you fucking doing? I'm like, what did I do?
Yeah.
And so we had a conversation about it. She's like, well, I do that just because it looks like you're always goofing off because you smile too much. I was
Yeah.
just like classic high school stuff,
I was like, that sounds like both of us in
like
high
I'm
school.
like, dude, I gotta. Somebody's gonna appreciate this smile. Somebody's gonna like something good has to come of this. Like
Mm,
I can't be just like I felt like I was just beat down.
mm,
Like who tells somebody not to smile, right?
yeah.
And so I was like, man, I'm gonna get my captain's license. And
Mm.
so I went.
Did she kind of like put a little fire under you?
Yeah, I wanted to like I want to. Oh, a
You want to
lot.
show her?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
can
we'll say that.
I can do this. And
Yeah.
of course, she didn't think I could. So I went to the Coast Guard, I did some classes, got my captain's license. My parents were still going through a divorce. It was horrible. So like Alaska was like my safe space. I didn't have a pot to piss. To me, like I grew up with doing fun things. I got to go skiing, like wakeboard. Like had our family had so much fun, and it went from like a great family to literally nothing. Right, like
Mm,
now like the family business is gone. My parents are divorcing. I don't have a stable job. Like I'm gonna go out. I've already done the corporate stuff. I can't do it. I'm too ADD. Like I'm too self driven. I need such a high amount of stimulation I'm just like crazy, I guess, but like I just need that. Like
Yeah.
I need to go get it. And
Let me ask
Alaska
you this. Let me
gave me
ask you
that.
this.
Yeah.
Seeing your dad's business and then seeing it slowly, I don't know if it shut down, but it went from being amazing to, it changed your guys' lifestyle as a family. Did
Yeah.
that make you think like, oh man, this is something I probably don't want to do, in the future?
As far as
As
like
far
I
as you
learned.
becoming an entrepreneur, you becoming a business
Oh
owner.
no, I saw like the greatest part is I saw the good and the bad, right? Like,
Mm,
and I always wanted to be an entrepreneur, whether that was buying my dad's business out from him letting him retire to just doing my own thing. Like, I graduated college with the mindset that I was never going to work for anybody else, you know?
mm-hmm.
Like I had that mindset, like going
Yeah.
into life, and a lot of people do, but a lot of people don't make it happen. Like, um, so yeah, and I don't know, like in my early or after my second year of deckhanding, I got the job for Vonnie's,
Mm-hmm.
and uh, I had a great season with him. Leone was my deckhand. Like we had such a fun time. I was like, this is the funnest place in the world. Like it's me and Cole on the boat. Vonnie's at the lodge taking care of the clients. Like we're out there with the boys fishing, like on the radio, like making money, like just having a ball, dude.
When does this bug start, hitting you where you're like, oh, I could probably start my own business or get equity in the current business you're in? Walk
Mhm.
me through that story.
So Cole and I finished that first season together, and like we're just like we live together. We're on the boat all day together. Like we're just being like it was like the coolest summer. So Cole and I were a team, and we were like, well, Cole wanted to come back that next season, and I got a job offer, or I guess we got a job offer from another lodge up there in Sitka, and they do fly out float plane trips. They're going to send Cole to guide school to do like the river guiding stuff, and they had this whole plan of attack and everything. And when somebody treats me right and they're loyal to me or whatever, I'm gonna do what they want me to do. And Vonnie treated me like her son that season, right?
Mm,
And it was only my first year knowing her, but it was so fun. I was like, I want to make this work with Vonnie. So I had a conversation with Vonnie, and my boat that I drove, that Cole and I were on, was really slow. So I'd wake up 30 minutes before, or I'd leave the dock 30 minutes before everybody. They'd show up at the same time. And then I'd stay out as late as they and get home 30 minutes later. And Vonnie loved that. She's like, dude, you're just like a go, go, go. Like, you won't stop. Vonnie's like, well, why don't you go buy a boat? Because we leased that slow
mm,
boat. And so it was kind of like spark. I always wanted to, be an entrepreneur. I was like, let's do it. Let's do it. Not
mm.
even having a plan, not having money, not having anything. So, word goes around. It's September, early September. I'm like, hey, Bonnie, told me to go buy this boat and whatever. So I go, the word goes travels so fast in that town. Oh my god. And so uh, one of the other charter companies had a really nice boat for sale. I still own it, and so I go down and I test drive it. And Vonnie told me how much to, he had an appraisal value for it, and then Vonnie told me the max. And I had $27,000 in my bank account after that season, and probably 20 grand in assets of like cars, and I had a snowmobile in Oregon. Like I didn't really have that much money. I thought I did. like, I thought I did, but that can go quickly, as I know. But so I go down there and I offer him some money, and he rose it up by 5 grand or something, and it was close to 100. It was I think it was appraised for like 130 or whatnot, and I can't remember. It was somewhere around $100,000, and I shook his hand. I didn't have like any money.
You shook his hand, just like, all right, we'll figure this out.
Yeah, I was like, I'll buy it. He's like, okay, so we get this like contract written up, and I had by
Oh man.
January 1st to get this. And I told him, I told the guy I was buying the boat from, and I was like, dude, I don't know. He's like, you'll figure it out. I was like, okay,
All right, I'll figure it out.
I'll figure it out. And so, um, and he was building a new boat, is why he was selling it. And so Yeah, I shook his hand. I went back down to Oregon. I called my mom. I was like, Mom, I just bought a boat. She's like, what? I was like, I'm going for this. This is a once in a lifetime opportunity. I'm gonna be my own operator next year. I'm gonna
Yeah.
have my own boat. And so I go to the bank in Oregon, and they basically just laughed at me because I had no like what a show. I made 20 grand last year.
Mhm.
I'm like ski coach, like whatever. But so I went to the bank. They laughed at me, and so like again, I was just hungry. I was like, well, I sold everything. Like I sold my truck, sold my snowmobile. I worked every day. I came up with half the payment for the boat by January 1st.
What
And
were the
Bonnie,
terms?
the terms was everything. It's January 1st.
You just
I
needed $100,000 by January
Yeah,
1st?
yeah. And it was,
Oh my gosh.
yeah. And so I came up with half, and Vonnie covered the Vonnie was had just purchased the lodge too and a few other things. So she was pretty tight on money. And but Vonnie came up with the other half. So Vonnie and I now were partners in the boat. And she had never even seen the boat. She didn't even care. She was just like wanted me. She just trusted me, and no one ever trusted me. Are you kidding me? And then now all of a sudden, these people are trusting me with like hundreds of thousands of dollars, and I just felt like this security in what I was doing, and like people up in Alaska believed in me, and like I had created a new image for myself in a way, or just I was still myself. Like I didn't change. It's just like I was accepted on the business level at a young age. It's a young man's game up there, anyways. But I was like accepted as like a part of the business, and it just felt really good. And I just knew that that's what I wanted to do. Um, and yeah, it was freaking awesome. So I ended up going to all the trade shows, working every day. I ended up fishing that next season like 95 to 100 days. It was
Wow.
awesome. I got
So
my
are you taking people on tours now? Now you have like your own, I don't know what you call it, charter company, or are you still with Vonnie?
So I am subcontracting for Vonnie.
Got it. Okay.
So I handle all the boat stuff. I got a very big raise, but like I also had to pay a lot of the expenses of the boat itself.
Hmm.
So that was like I got to learn. It was like a mini business for me, kind of like with the help of
Hmm.
Vonnie and mentors and all this stuff. So I could, oh, what about this? Is this tax deductible? Okay, I'm gonna get a company credit card. So I just built up like a history of like a business history, basically, and with the help and support from Vonnie, and I knew I could make more money on my own, right?
Hmm.
Like if I had bought the boat and the permits all on my own or whatnot. Oh, the permit thing is a whole nother story. But the I just knew that like there's like some form of loyalty where like money never really mattered to me. It's more relationships kind of thing,
Hmm.
and building that relationship with Vonnie in the end ended up paying off because she sold me the lodge, you know.
Yeah.
But like we charge 500 a day for a person to be on the boat,
Hmm.
and so I could make that full $500. But essentially, I was basically splitting it with Vonnie, and um, uh, I was getting $300 a person. So I got a little bit more, but Vonnie wasn't doing anything, right? So I could have had an ego and been like, "What are you even doing? I need the," but like, and like
Yeah.
now knowing what I know now, like because I own a business, like I see people doing that, and
Hmm. Let's
it's
stay
just
on that
like,
topic real quick.
yeah,
Because even like someone like me or someone in real estate or starting their, first business, in your opinion, two questions. Start with this one. How important are mentors and finding people that have done it and then learning from them as you start to do something on your own?
all mentors have changed my life for real. Like Vonnie taking me under her wing and everything, like it's been the most amazing experience in the world. And then my investors, one of the things I did before I bought the lodge too is uh Alaska offers an SBA like consulting thing for free for small businesses.
Mm.
Like I got a business degree, but like those were my jam. But when you put it into like a business, like you can actually see the numbers coming in and going out and what you're spending on. It like
Mhm.
all ended up clicking with me. Like it makes sense. Like I can run a budget now or a report like so well. And it's something that I never thought I could, you know.
You just gotta train that ADD brain to be like,
But
oh,
dude,
this is money now. I gotta focus.
it's also because you have to do it. I just sat there and just messed with numbers. Ian consulted me. I'd call him and he'd be like, "No, looks good." And then, in the end, I pitched it to. I made 2 phone calls for the money for the lodge, and I pitched him this this thing that Ian and I worked on, and in 2 phone calls, I got millions of dollars.
Mm.
Like it was crazy. Like, and then that's people that have it wasn't family or friends. These are clients that like have seen me fish, seen how passionate I am, and they believed in me and they knew it would be a good investment. I mean, essentially they're making money off of me right now too. They don't own any of the
Hmm.
business, but I pay a large percentage of interest to them. Um,
Right.
but I mean, that's just the way the world works. Like, I
100%. I think
yeah,
most people don't, especially if you're like just starting out in entrepreneurship. I know I still kind of have a little bit of this limiting belief where it's like, oh man, if I ask for money on like as a private money lender on a new house that I know is going to crush it, I'm going to be able to pay my investors back. I still
yeah,
almost feel like I'm bugging them or I'm asking for money, but no, I'm giving them an amazing opportunity that they can't get elsewhere.
hmm,
Also with someone that they trust and like. So it sounds like you had a similar situation where they knew you, they trusted you, and they're like, "Yeah, put it. Let me see the financials. Let's go. I'll send the money."
yeah. It was exactly the way it was, and my investors are like, it's crazy because like my experience, like from what I've heard and what other people, like investors will be like all on your back and being like, "What are you doing? How's this going?" And like it's crazy to me that I've never had that. It's just like I have automatic payments out of my account, and if they get paid, I don't hear from them.
Mm,
And
beautiful.
it's crazy. Like I always thought it would be different than the way it is, and they've really let me like and trusted me and um let me kind of try to build this thing in like the best way possible. And they gave me like a 2 year. They gave me some good like loan benefits too to figure it out and grow. So yeah, we have just been it's just been a crazy experience. I just yeah, it's been awesome. I guess.
Talk to me about what you were saying. How before you were a business owner, and people are
Oh,
like, "Oh man, you're trying to follow this entrepreneur journey. Like, be real, be realistic. Go get a job. Go get a real job." And then once you actually became a business owner, became successful, how do people look at you? I think this is really important for people to understand.
yeah. So it's crazy. I mean, I do a weird job to begin with. So people are already like, I don't know what it is, but they just hate on me for like, they're like, oh, you're a fishing guide or you're, and they've never even experienced Sika or what we do. Like they have no idea, but people just love to talk. And so yeah, before I bought this business and became a business owner and whatnot, everybody's like, "Well, when are you gonna start alive? When are you gonna get a career? When are you gonna do this? When are you gonna do that?" And it was frustrating. Like it's annoying because I mean I'm like, no, dude. Like I'm not. I love my job. Like
Yeah.
I just heard you complain for a half hour about your job and your boss, and like I was just like, I love why are you telling me to get a job? Your sounds miserable.
So true.
Yeah, I just don't like. Do you want me to be miserable with you? Like this is the
Right.
most crazy. Why, why would I take advice from you? Anyways, now that I'm a business owner, now it's like, oh, like you're a business owner, you're rich, or you're selfish, or you're what? Like you're like no matter what, you're just gonna get like hated on. Is what I've learned. I
Mm.
mean, it's crazy. Like it's a giant responsibility. It honestly isn't like it is not all like gravy and flowers or whatever. Like it's hard. Like it's not for everybody. No matter what I do, it's like now it's like I do this for you or I do this for this. I'm like, no, dude, I just want to be a team. I want all of us to do this together or whatnot. And um, it's like it's hard. It's challenging to have a relationship with people that think that way, but for the most part, people are super supportive, super pumped. Like, it's not everybody that is, rude or says that. It's a real select few, but those things take in your mind, and you think about it, and you're like, man, why did they have to be so mean? Like, huh. All
Yeah.
right, let's move on, because I've been a lot better about uh, ignoring those things and not letting like it affect my day to day, and just doing what I know how to do. And
I want to talk to those people who are just starting, those people who are just getting going in their business, and they have those friends, they have those people around them. They're like, stop dreaming, bro. Like, this is never going to happen. Be realistic. Go get a real job. Maybe their parents, maybe their closest friends are telling them that. How'd you deal with that? Did you use it as motivation? Did you just ignore them? Did you cut off some friends? How'd you go about that beginning when you're fragile?
I don't know. It was more of like a motivational aspect thing. When people don't believe in me, I just want to prove them wrong. Just like that first boss or something, when she was like, you'll never be. I mean, she told me that I would never drive a boat. Like stuff like that. And it's like, I don't know. It's just like when people doubt me, I have this crazy like head of the nose grind. Like, nothing's going to stop me. I'm going to do this. Like, there's no plan B for me. Like, so my
Mm,
cousin the other day told me, he's like, when you were doing all this stuff up in Alaska last winter, I asked you what you'd be doing if this wasn't your job, and I told him I've never even thought about it. Like,
mm,
I've never even thought about another job. Like,
mm,
everybody's been blocked out. Like, I've unfortunately like ruined relationships, and I've sacrificed so much to get this point. And like, ex-girls, why are you doing this? Is dumb. You're just gonna be a fishing guy and be poor. Like, like
mm,
or like, it's just like, no, like, this is gonna work. We're gonna have a great life, and like,
mm,
uh, and yeah, it's just been crazy that I've been able to exit all that out and just focus. So just focus. If you really believe in yourself, if you have doubt, don't do it. Right?
mm,
Like, if you doubt yourself, if there's a little, like, you need to be 100% or 0%. And if you're 100%, that's when like you're gonna get the best results. Like, there's
mm.
gonna, like, go sleep on your mom's couch for a month or whatever. Like, do what you have to do. Like,
Yeah.
I bought a can. I lived in a trailer one winter,
Mm-hmm.
and building a house. I was freezing my ass off, but I was like, I'm gonna buy a permit this next season, like,
Yeah.
and yeah, I just did a bunch of stupid stuff that sacrificed definitely my well being for this.
Well, I
My
wouldn't say this is stupid. I think that's you basically was investments in yourself.
Oh, not stupid stuff, but it was looked at as stupid when I
Mm-hmm.
was
From the
doing it by
outside.
other people. For me, I knew what I was doing because I like read
Yeah.
books. I've talked to mentors. I knew what they did and how much sacrifice it is. And again, I didn't have a pot to piss, and I didn't have there was no backup plan. There was no family money. There was no nothing anymore. It was just like, I got one
Mm.
shot at this. We got one shot on this planet. Like, let's do something we absolutely love, right? Like,
Mm.
let's get it.
I
And
love that.
it
People
was,
people used to ask me pretty similar to you. It's like, Jesse, what's your plan B? And I always just told them, do my plan A better.
yeah,
That's it. Like,
yeah.
I'm all in.
Yeah.
So very similar to your story. I want to talk about delayed gratification a little bit. Sounds like that played a role kind of in your life. I know where we grew up. For part of my life was in Lake Oswego, a very well known area with a lot of money, and
Mhm.
it's very hard not to try to keep up with the Joneses. And for me, I was like, you know what? I'm just not worried about all that. I'm saving up every single, because I was in sales. I saved every single commission dollar, lived off of like $42,000 a year for years while I was making close to 200K. And I was like, I don't care. This is my investment. I'm doing delayed gratification. I don't care about the cars. I don't care about, I slept on my parents' couch in the office for a year because I knew I was, going to do something bigger, and I didn't want to try to keep up with the Joneses. What was some stories besides you, living in that trailer or camper, or whatever you said, that kind of relates to that?
Oh man, I got a lot of them.
This
Yeah,
is what people need to hear, man. They need to hear behind the scenes. I love
yeah, no,
this.
it's hard to explain. Well, it's actually good to explain. Yeah, a lot of sacrifice. Like, I mean, I remember going to one of my friends' birthday parties, and everybody's out of college. Like, they got their nice new corporate jobs that they're so excited for it, but good for them. Like, honestly,
Mm-hmm.
I have nothing against corporate. It's just not for me. Like, I'd
Yeah.
rather be dead ass broke than work a 9 to 5 making 300K. Like,
Mm-hmm.
promise you. Like, there is nothing I would I don't know what could make me go back to a 9 to 5. Like, I just remember wanting to like go. I'd be like, can I just wake up at like 3 and work for 8 hours and then go ski or go do this? You know, like it's like what I like yesterday. I went up to the mountain. I was on the phone the entire time. I actually didn't even get to go skiing because I was on the phone in the car. So I just drove my cousin up, like whatever. But uh, like I just want to do, but I like to work. Like I can't check out. Like this is my my passion or whatnot. But I remember going to my friend's birthday party and everybody had their nice corporate jobs. And I'm like in Vans or something, and everybody had like their new leather like shoes, and they just got out of work. And I'm in like this old single cab beater that I bought to take my boat up, so I could pull my boat. It was a 3/4 ton. It's still alive. I it's my favorite truck, but it's up in Sitka now. Um, so I'm driving beaters, like knowing that this car is going to be a utility asset to my boat or whatnot. I'm wearing Vans. I probably just got off the mountain coaching, and like I loved coaching. Like that was another job that gave me like fulfillment. Um, and so I take off my everybody's in like these leather shoes, and then people are like constantly asking me like, "What are you doing? Like, where are you living at your mom's or like you living there?" I'm like, dude, like don't worry about me, man. Like I'll be fine. Like I believe in me. Like
Yeah.
just leave that out. Leave that out of there. So I just little things like that. I mean I was in it. I like last winter I lived at my sister's house. Um and I mean I'm only home for, probably a total of like 2 months in Oregon. And then I travel to shows. I just want to see family and friends. This year I got my own place in Westland as a home base just to clear my mind. I really don't like roommates or anybody, but yeah, it's been you know uh, a lot of like not knowing what tomorrow is going to bring kind of thing, and like showing up with those beater cars. Like I had a beater Subaru too last year, like manual. Like I paid 5 grand for it, but I knew that if I put my money into like boats, like I have beater cars, like I come home and I'm like the poorest man in the world. People are like, dude, you need to get a job or something. And then like I go to Alaska, I'm like, dude, come to Alaska. I'm like, I swear
Yeah.
I'm a little bit more put together up there, but
Because you
so
put your
like
money in assets.
yeah, and like I didn't care. Like I didn't care. Like I it it was just like what I wanted to do. Like I always dreamed of just sacrificing it all, like just coming up with business plans and then executing. And most of the winters when I was working on all this stuff, even buying the boats, like I wasn't getting paid. Like like talk about delayed gratification. Like you don't get paid until May or June, right? Like I don't
Mm,
get paid. But I'm doing all of this work right now for one, I absolutely love it, and it was never about pay for me. This was I never did this job for money. Like I did it for $9 an hour for my first 2 years, and then I realized like, oh, I could make a living. Oh, I could buy a boat. Oh, I could own a lodge. Oh, I could hopefully retire by the time I'm 45. I don't know, but
yeah.
uh, yeah, it's just like I'm working all winter. I'm not getting paid. I saved all my money from the summer, and I gotta have enough money to buy bait, buy grocery or buy food for 500 clients or no
Mm,
wait 1,500 mouths, um, lunches, everything, and like so it's like I still am dealing with delayed gratification. Like I haven't in my head I have like yeah I might have closed on the laws or anything, but in my head I am not. I'm still hungry. Like I'm still not settled. Like my stuff is not paid off. Like yeah I
mm,
own all this stuff, but I have loans, I have mortgages, I got bills to pay, I have responsibilities, I got employees. Oh god, and I just got a lot of shit going on. Like
yeah.
I got it's just a lot. So I always run a little nervous. Maybe I'm not frugal in business. Like I'll spend money on all my business stuff. I'll get nice things, nice gear, but I'm frugal in like how I treated my lifestyle. Like I don't like if I regret one thing, it's like I haven't like spent enough time focusing on like my well-being or like my relationships or my like doing things that I want to do. But like I really look at that statement and I'm like, no, this is what all I want to do, you know? And
Mm.
it's like I haven't learned yet to necessarily balance that, but I do think like after what I've been through the last few years of this lodge and buying it and everything, like I really think that like my life is going to get a lot more. I'll be more secure in being like an owner. I'll be more secure in, you know, paying off loans and really getting this first, you know, full year in the books and and knowing how much I can spend or knowing how much I need or whatnot, but always just being like super responsible with it. Always having, you know, 12 months of, because who knows if there's another COVID, you know, 12 months
Mm.
of like my mortgage payments stacked away in a high interest savings like CD account, you know, so I'm making
Mm.
money off of that, but like it's not, I can't spend it. I'm not going to
Mm.
spend it. And then, you know, just
I
like,
think that's such a misconception. They think, oh, you have $1 million business, whatever. It's like, okay, so it doesn't mean I have $1 million to spend. Like
no, no,
taxes, employees,
yeah,
like the list goes on. Like
like
big misconception.
in my personal bank account, it looks horrible.
Right.
Like, and I don't care.
Yeah.
I do not care. And
Yeah.
but like the business account is more money than I've ever seen in my life. But I literally, it's not that much. Like it's
Mm.
out on a business thing. It's just a number, and I cannot get excited about it because I could spend that, I know, on a boat in one day, you know, or if something
Mm.
on an engine, like I just put a new engine in, it's a six figure up like thing. Like
Damn.
I was like, at the end of it, it's gonna be like $92,000. But like that's just gone, right?
Yeah.
Like people like, yeah, it looks good. Oh yeah, this is good. But it's like, man, this stuff is and again, it's not even about me. Like people are relying on me for jobs next year too, right?
Mm.
So there's the
Mm-hmm.
stress of that. Like they want money for their family now, or they want money for this or this and this, and I want to be able to pay them more than any other lodge does in Alaska, which is what Vonnie's
Yeah.
always done. Like I want to do benefits. I want to do all like take them on trips. Like I do want to do that. I just need to see where we're at, you know, at the beginning of the year once it comes, see how full lodge is, you know, and get a really good team together, you know, like no egos, just like everybody helping each other out and doing their gigs and being in the places they need at the right time, responsible, everyone's a leader and teaching each other everything about the biz and making a family atmosphere. Because then when clients come up, then they're like, oh, this place is solid. And they
Yeah.
get to see the same faces year after year. They get to, oh, Mike, how's your dog? Or how's, you know, your parents? Or how's this? Like, I've become more connected with these clients than I have with like I love my clients. Like I look
Mm.
at my schedule. I know basically everybody. It's like a family
Mm-hmm.
reunion every 3 days.
That's amazing.
Like it's so awesome. So like yeah, it's just so cool.
I want to
So
switch gears. I want to talk about raising money. So it sounds like you were able to, through mentorship and basically your clients, kind of just make a couple phone calls. But then also you mentioned did a little world tour to try to raise some capital. So walk me through kind of some of the lessons, what you did when you were looking to raise some capital.
oh, for the other business,
Was that mainly for
yeah,
Omegas?
that was Omegas, yeah.
Yeah,
But yeah, we can get on the Omegas topic, man. Uh, that one's
learning
crazy.
lessons, man. I want to hear some of these learning lessons,
So like
not
during,
failures.
so I mean, I'm just during COVID, you know, tourism, like people weren't flying up to Sitka, so I started like doing a little commercial fishing or fish processing, and one of my friends started a fish processor, so I started cutting fish, and people would always ask me to buy fish, and Cole too, my old deckhand, right? And so Cole and I always dreamed of selling seafood, so we ended up getting our freezer in Portland and catching, selling, buying, and then shipping the fish home through our friends at Catch Sitka, and 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 then selling them in fish boxes. So it's all commercially caught. Like we can't use any like the sport caught fish, and we weren't sport fishing because it was closed or whatnot. And I was living up there full time, so that whole next winter I did the same thing, and I flew out to Anchorage. I got to see all these different processors, and I was kind of working for a private equity company during the time too, on their seafood kind of thing. So I on their seafood division, they were trying to buy a seafood company, so I was kind of going in there and like checking out how the quality of the fish and all that stuff from my experiences with the sport caught stuff. So they flew me around all over the place, and we came up with this idea for value add seafood, and it was the salmon burger. And so the private equity group and we got together, we made the recipe, and we started selling them and like taking them to stores and doing well. And they never went through with the deal for the deal that they wanted to. It was like a $700 million acquisition, and like I was in on it was it was crazy. Like I was at a table at one point with like I'm not e- I I'm not even sure how much I can say about this stuff. I had to sign a lot of stuff, but I was at a table, I'm not going to name drop, with probably like 8 or 9 billionaires. Like
Wow.
it was crazy. And
Yeah.
um yeah, they've like private jets and stuff, like all business though, like no fun. Like I was like I like called my mom like, dude, mom, I don't know how the hell they just like took some fishermen up to like all these like this is what I normally wear, like right, and then
Yeah.
now I'm like in Palm Beach at the breakers, like breakers are like I don't know how much I think my hotel room was like $35,000 for like the 5 days I was there.
Oh my gosh.
Like it was a crazy thing. It was a crazy experience, and I was a billionaire owner of the company, and so I go on. They canceled their seafood division. They set me up. They gave us some money, and we went and started selling burgers. Cole, me and Didi,
Hmm.
and we ended up doing one batch, and uh, it was expensive. We had we put a lot of our own investments into it, our own money into it, and we ended up having like shipping is so hard. Like
Hmm.
shipping frozen stuff is we had like probably $10,000 batch of burgers go bad on one shipment, and we weren't experienced enough to know how everything really works. Like we went from like nothing to like going way too big, like our growth was way too much in a short period of amount of time. Like the FedEx lady took us to the suite at the Blazer game because we were one of her biggest accounts. I was like, this isn't right. Like
You're
that,
like, I'm not supposed to be a big account yet.
we're not even big. Like what
Yeah.
are we like we sell like I don't like we don't we're not big. Like we sold like 300 pounds this week or something, and usually like those big companies sell thousands and hundreds of thousands a week. Like I'm like, something's fishy here, I guess. And so we get our bill from FedEx. It was like 6 grand. It should have been like $1,200 or some BS. So I was like, yeah, we're switching to ship station, which we did, and then we take 20 boxes of ship out, and half of them would go bad. Now we're out, a few $1,000. It was just like got a little bit too much. So we kind of wanted like sold a lot of our inventory to restaurants, just for very very small margins. And we still processed fish this last winter in Sitka, or this winter, or when was that? Yeah, this winter. We got some halibut and already sold out of that. Just we're doing small
Mm.
stuff. We really tamed it down,
Yeah.
and I mean, we basically cut up fish for Christmas. But yeah, that was a challenging business, and really, I don't want to get rid of it because I want to do another batch of burgers because we were
Hmm.
so close to getting in as like stores and stuff. Like that $10,000 order was, yeah, that sucked. Like, it was just like one bad thing that happened that changed our whole route. And
Mm,
not saying you should ever give up on like your dreams and goals. Like we could have raised money and do it, but like Cole has another job and I have this going on. Like there's definitely like a procedure of what we can and cannot do realistically because it's just us. And
mm,
Cole and I have still an awesome friendship, awesome partnership, and we're both like he has a great opportunity at his job. I had this opportunity. I was like, dude, we gotta like wind down. So he ships out maybe twice a month, and texts our customers like, hey, we can't get it to you till this day or whatnot. And it's still a solid. It's basically just paying for its rent right now. But I do want to really bad, like in a few years, get those burgers back and do it a lot better.
I ordered a couple boxes. They're
Yeah,
great. My crew loved them too. The people that rent from
nice.
my houses, I was like, guys, these are for the whole house. So whatever you guys need.
Nice. Yeah, thank you for that
Yeah.
order. So yeah, that was yeah, there's like no value add like good value add like products for seafood in the store. So that was something that like me and the team, the private equity team were really trying to focus on. And I had a lot of awesome support. It was a really cool I learned a lot about business. I learned, I'd be sitting down at dinner and so and so would take the call and they're like, yeah, we need $200 million for this fund. It'll 10x, I guarantee, in 2 years, blah blah blah. And then they're like hang up and they're like, nice, we got 200 million, like, and then they get a commission off the 3% automatically and 5% here and 5%. I'm like, holy shit. Like, what what and I'm I think I was like 27 or 26 at the time, and I was just like the most crazy like hardcore business development. And it was business develop. It was like getting my MBA really. Uh,
Mm.
I went and took classes in fish processing. All like they stop it. They taught me a lot of stuff. It was really cool. So yeah, I got to travel around the
Mm.
world, see a bunch of stuff, learn a bunch, and ended up. I just kind of changed. Cole and I just changed our focus to like a sustainable job for the meantime, but still not getting rid of it. But like
Mm.
not really focusing on it, I guess is the better
Well, I
way.
got I got two more questions for you.
Yeah.
First one, what does your business look like and you personally in like 3 to 5 years? Paint that vision for us.
Um,
Let me ask you this. There's someone watching, there's someone listening, and they're about to give up. They're like, this is too much. I'm going through some speed bumps. What is one piece of advice that you give to that person right now who's just on the very edge of potentially giving up on their dream and their business?
it all depends on the situation because like with Omegas, we went on too long and just kept losing money, right? Not like financially stable and you just hang on to it because you want it to work, but it's not gonna work, then yeah, like restructure. Like we're gonna restructure Omegas and we're gonna make it work. It's just not gonna be right now.
Mm,
Uh but yeah, sometimes the market's not good. Sometimes, you know, life isn't good. Sometimes you got too much going on. Sometimes, your parents might be sick or you might be going through a breakup or whatever. And maybe focusing on your family is the right decision. But if you're just giving up because it's too hard, like, come on, man, like just do it. Like you got one shot. Like don't give up. Like if this is going to work and you believe in it 100%, don't like the fact that you're even thinking about giving up, you need to change that immediately. You need to go like there's no plan B. There should not be a
mm,
plan B. Like it's either you're gonna do it and this is gonna work, or you have to sit back and the only if it's you that's making it not work, then you have to sit back and like really address like what's going on in your head and go to get a mentor, ask if this is even like realistic, and if they believe in you and think it's a good idea, then go for it.
mm.
But not everybody gives good advice. So like I hope if you are reaching out to a mentor, you trust them. Um, but yeah, it's there's no plan B. Just go for it. If it makes sense in your head and you believe in it, there's no reason to give up. There's no reason.
No plan B. Just do your plan A better.
Yeah, amen. So
So, how do people find you, Mike? People want to connect with you. People want to reach out. People want to book, and you call it an excursion.
so it's like an all inclusive fishing package, basically, is what we do.
I got to
Uh,
come up for sure. By the way.
yeah, you should. Our website is castalaska.com. So that's this bad dog right
There you
here,
go.
probably backwards.
Castalaska.com.
And you can, I mean, my Instagram, I haven't been playing around with the business Instagram. I usually just post on my own. It's just the Monster Mike A1 under Mike Allen. And then, castalaska.com. Mentors is the most important thing. I still need mentors. Jesse still uses mentors. Like we all do it. Um,
Absolutely.
I probably talked to mine twice this week already. One of them. I have probably 10, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I talk to Bonnie every day. She's a huge influence on my life. She walks me off the cliff a lot of times. So yeah, no, I I just yeah, I guess just marketing and letting people know you guys gotta. Someone wants to do a trip or something, you got a spot, you got a friend here. So yeah,
It's been a long time, man.
yeah.
And this is what I love about social media, that you're able to keep in touch with people.
Oh,
And
me too. Yeah,
like there's a lot of people I don't have honestly, there's probably not that many that I keep in contact with from high school. But you're someone that was just always like, you're very personable. You have great energy. I love that you smile a lot because I smile a
yeah,
lot. So keep
yeah.
that going. And
Always.
it's just amazing that we're able to connect this many years later, have you on the podcast. Appreciate you.
Dude, it's great.
So Jesse Ray, Growth House Podcast, here with my guy Mike Allen, and we're
Thank
out.
you. Thank you.